The first thing you need to know is this: nobody expects to dig up a piece of history that should have stayed buried. Not out here. Not 20 feet down. Not with the sun burning holes through your skin and hope fading by the hour. But that's exactly what happened to me, and if you stick around, you're gonna see how fast a life can turn when the wrong secrets come to light. Hell, sometimes I wonder if digging that well was the biggest mistake I ever made, or the one thing that finally saved us. Oh, you know what I mean. The shovel struck something, and I knew right then it wasn't rock, or bone, or any natural thing this stubborn earth should have been hiding. It was hollow, metallic, wrong in a way that sent a shiver down my spine. Even though the sweat was pouring down my neck, I knelt down, brushing away the dirt, my hands shaking not from exhaustion, but from this gnawing sense that I'd just woken up something that should have slept another 100 years. And in the harsh morning light, something glinted at me, a shine that didn't belong on a dead ranch in the middle of nowhere. So I brushed away the soul, and there it was, this carved metal, so ornate it looked like it belonged in a bank vault or a palace, not buried out here where cattle go to die and the bank's about to call in their last warning. I stared at it, and all I could think was, what in the hell is this doing here, and why me? Why not? With Clementine waiting on water, cattle dying, and every inch of this land screaming for mercy. You gotta understand, I promised her this well would save us. I staked my last bit of pride on that promise, and instead, I'm staring at a secret that feels colder than the grave. The thing was bigger than I thought, those patterns catching the light, moving almost, symbols I couldn't read, couldn't place. And all I wanted was to find a trickle of water. Now I'm one bad decision away from ruin, and for the life of me, I couldn't figure who'd bury something like this out here, in land that can't even grow weeds. As I ran my hands over it, the metal was warm, almost pulsing, and I kept thinking about all those years this place had gone untouched. No miners, no settlements, just rattlesnakes and wind. I dug around, clearing away more dirt, feeling those engravings slip beneath my fingers when suddenly hoofbeats. Free riders, coming in hard from the east, and out here, that's never a good sign. My blood froze. Nobody comes out here. Not unless they want something. I scrambled out, dirt caking my hands, grabbing my rifle because 3 against 1 is never good odds, but I wasn't about to die without a fight. I watched them ride up too fast, too sure, too well dressed to be drifters, their horses looking better fed than mine. I dug down, covering the chest as best I could, hard hammering, thinking if they're here for what I found, then maybe I just dug my own grave. I listened, lying flat against the earth, as Clementine's voice snapped through the air, sharp and brave, telling them to get off her land. I heard their laughter, cold, practiced, voices that didn't ask, just took. We just need to talk to your hired hand, one of them said, asking for me by name. How the hell did they know me? I'd only been here a few weeks, just another drifting soul who said yes when the work was offered. But they knew, and that scared me more than the gun on my hip. Clementine, bless her, Light told them I was out in the back pasture, not due back till sunset. Let's just say he's come into some valuable information, they said, and my stomach turned cold. They knew about the chest. Had to. Or maybe they knew someone had found it before, maybe they were waiting for a fool like me to finish the job. Either way, I was trapped, 20 feet underground, 3 men and a secret above me, and no way out that didn't end in blood. Then I heard it, the scrape of a shovel, footsteps crunching close. Someone was checking the well, and I pressed myself tight against the wall, hoping to vanish into the dirt. One of the riders dropped a rope down, and then boots, legs, a hard-faced man sliding into the hole, eyes sharp as broken glass, scars across his knuckles, gun riding low on his hip. He saw the disturbed dirt, kicked at it, and that hollow sound echoed up like a death knell. Got it, he called, smiling, and I knew that I had maybe 2 seconds left to decide: fight, run, or surrender. I stood up, rifle in shaking hands, aiming just enough to let him know I wasn't bluffing. Don't move. He froze, watching me, and in that silence, the only thing louder than the beating of my heart was the knowledge that I wasn't getting out of this alone. You found something that belongs to my employer, he said, voice flat, almost polite. A chest stolen from a train 20 years ago, and we've been looking for it ever since. Suddenly, everything made sense and nothing did. The craftsmanship, the burial, the desperation. But I'd never stolen anything in my life. Wrong place, wrong time, he said, and you could tell he meant it. Didn't hate me, didn't care, just had a job to do. He made it clear if I wanted Clementine safe, I'd help dig up the chest, and if not, well, he didn't need to say it twice. We hauled the thing up, and when he unlocked it with the key he carried God knows how long, it opened like a time capsule. Gold coins, jewelry, old payroll documents, enough wealth to change everything for everyone out here. He explained 20 years back, 3 men robbed a payroll train, left good men hungry, some even dead. And the worst part? The Shaw family, he said, meaning Clementine's late husband and his brother, not some strangers, but the very people this land was built on, that hit like a punch to the gut. Clementine, who'd suffered so much, who fought to keep this place alive, now standing accused of living off blood money she never knew about. But the past doesn't let go that easy, and the man made it clear the railroad wanted every dollar, every acre, every nail back, and if Clementine lost everything, well, that was justice in their book. When one of the men made a leering suggestion, all cruel smiles and ugly promises, I saw something change in Clementine. She straightened up, was steady, and dropped the twist that changed everything. Robert kept journals, she said, every detail, every name, even the railroad man who helped them pull off the job. Turns out, this wasn't just a robbery, it was an inside job, a cover-up that had lasted 2 decades. And the man paying to recover the gold was the same one who tipped off the thieves and hunted them ever since. Now the power shifted. Clementine had leverage, the only thing that ever saved anybody out here. She demanded enough gold to keep her ranch alive, sterling unharmed, and the rest could go back with them if they ever breathed a word or tried to take more. Those journals would find their way to the authorities, with names, dates, and confessions. It was a gamble. But Clementine was done being afraid, and when she pulled those journals out, even the hard man hesitated. He weighed his options, decided he wasn't getting paid enough to fight the whole territory, and ordered his men to leave half the gold behind. But as he left, he promised this wasn't over. His employer, the railroad superintendent Morrison, wouldn't let it drop, wouldn't rest until every loose end was tied off. As the dust settled and the riders disappeared into the heat, I stood beside Clementine, both of us staring at what was left. Enough gold to save the ranch, enough secrets to keep us looking over our shoulders for the rest of our lives. What happens now? I asked. She managed a tired smile. Now, we dig the well, keep the cattle alive, and hope the future's kinder than the past. When I asked about the journals, whether she really made copies, she said she'd already sent them to a lawyer in Denver, just in case. She wasn't stupid. She knew someday the past would come calling, and when it did, she'd be ready. Why not just turn them in? I asked. Start over clean. She looked out at that hard, beautiful land and said, because that wouldn't feed the families who went hungry, wouldn't bring back the dead. At least this way, something good comes from Robert's sins. As the sun set, I picked up my shovel and went back to the well. Water finally bubbled up from the earth, cold and clear, life returning to land built on blood and secrets. But if you think this story ends here, you're missing the point. Some debts get paid, some wounds never heal, and sometimes, justice is just another word for who gets to write the last page. So let me ask you, was justice really served? Who deserves to keep the land, the gold, the peace of mind? Drop your thoughts below. Let's settle this like folks who know a secret or two about what it costs to survive out here. If you want more stories where the truth is never what it seems, make sure you subscribe and hit that super chat, because out here, every voice matters, and every choice leaves a mark.